All right, so you're a runner, maybe a walker, biker, hiker, or somebody who just wants to step out your front door, get on the pathway, walk over to Starbucks, grab a cup of coffee, and stroll on back to your home. And you want to know if living in Charlotte, North Carolina gives you an opportunity to do that. This video should answer some of those questions. It is going to show you about part of the 70 miles of Greenway and the 30 miles of urban trail that are part of the Mecklenburg County Parks and Rec Greenway System throughout Mecklenburg County. We're going to show you some of those trails. We're going to show you some of the communities around those trails and the neighborhoods, so stick around. Hey, I'm Dave DeSilva with Long Tab Realty, brokered by eXp Realty here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am a self-proclaimed slow ultra runner, a biker, hiker, walker, dog walker, coffee drinker, all the stuff above, and I love living in Charlotte, North Carolina. If this is your first time to this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell, and maybe leave a comment once you're done to let us know what you like about the channel, what we can do a little bit differently. And if you do hit that bell, you'll be the first person to know when the next video about living in Charlotte, North Carolina comes out. We get calls, texts, emails all the time from people just like you wondering about Charlotte and the surrounding area. So whether you're thinking about taking a trip here or moving here in 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months, this is the right channel to find out all about Charlotte. And as I said, the more you leave comments, the better we know what you want to know. So let's get started. We're going to jump into my car, go down to the southern terminus of the Mecklenburg County Parks and Rec Trail System, which spans from the South Carolina border on the south side all the way up into North Mecklenburg County, up to the lakes and region near Lake Norman, primarily off near Mallard Creek, Reedy Creek, through downtown. We're going to go ahead and hit some of those points and show you what the trail system is like. All right, so I think it was Stephen Covey who said start with the end in mind. And we are in the Prestwick neighborhood in Lancaster County in South Carolina, and that's the neighborhood. There's the state line right up there, and this is the terminus for the Mecklenburg Parks and Recreation Greenway in South Carolina. So this is the end, but it also is the start to more than 70 miles of Greenway, 30 miles just about of urban trail. And you take this from here up past the Lake Park in Pineville, up past into South Park in Charlotte, up into Freedom Park, and then on up into North Charlotte University area, Reedy Creek, Mallard Creek. It is a nice long trail. You can do a 50K on this easily, and this is the new end of it, or the new beginning of it. So here's a little bit of a map. It's a great trail. I've done this one not from this direction, but from the other direction on out. So I'll go ahead and end off here, and we're going to see you up in Pineville. Little Sugar Creek Greenway, and this is a great addition. If you jump on here, go down to the end of this entry road and take a right and follow the trail all the way to the South Carolina line, you're going to end up in Prestwick, which is a neighborhood in South Carolina. Now, if you ran back past this entrance here up to the James K. Polk Museum, he was our 11th president and he was born in Pineville, but you're going to end up taking it's about a 3.6 mile run. But if you follow that trail all the way to North Charlotte, it's over 50K. So great trail system, and that's part of the Parks and Rec Greenway System. So on our way out of Pineville, we're going to stop at the James K. Polk Visitor Center, part of the Greenway System that used to be the end of the Greenway System, but now it's just another interesting point along the way. And prior to heading up to the Sharon Road entry to the Greenway along Little Sugar Creek, we're going to head to 4 Mile Creek and check out that area first. Here we go again. We are at 4 Mile Creek at the intersection of Bevington and Ray Road, and Starbucks over here. Nice little shopping area. I talked all about this when I covered Piper Glen, one of the neighborhoods right on the other side of Ray Road. All up in there's Piper Glen. But this is a trail Greenway that I'm on during the last month or 45 days at least, when I'm doing 2 workouts a day. I've been on this trail just about once a day. Typically I'm on here 2, 3, 4 times a week. It's 5.8 miles from the far end where I normally start at, off of Route 51, to this point. So a round trip's going to be 11.6, obviously, but it's a great trail. A lot of people are parking here and jump on the trail. A lot of people park in a similar parking lot at the other end. Not allowed to park in that parking space in there, but it's got a lot of offshoots that go into the neighborhoods around 4 Mile Creek, and it's an offshoot of Little Sugar Creek. So you can jump on this, find your way to South Carolina, or find your way 30 miles north to the university area. So good long trail, a lot of offshoots into the neighborhoods, and it's mostly paved road. You will find some boardwalk here and a little bit of dirt towards the end. The last mile almost is boardwalk. One thing that's great, and I might have mentioned this already, I'm going to mention it again, is a lot of these all these trails, you're going to see a lot of nature. When I run here in the morning and it's dark, sometimes I've got a headlamp on and I'll shine my headlamp into the woods and I'll see, no kidding, a bunch of eyes peering at you. We thought at first it was just who knows what, cats, dogs, rodents, and come to find out it's all the deer hunkered down trying to stare at you, making sure you're not chasing them. But a lot of nature, a lot of animals, snakes here and there. Don't worry about the snakes, no big deal, just go around them. And that's about it. But you're going to find, it's a great path. This is about the only part where you're going to find any urban setting here along the roadway. It goes for about maybe 3/4 of a mile, and then you're into the woods all the way to the end of the trail. So this is one of my favorite trails. It's probably my second favorite. Well, actually my first favorite trail. This is the one I started running on when I first got to Charlotte. It extended only 1.75 miles, and now it's 5.8 miles. And of course, you've got lots of information on what's going on 4 Mile Creek Greenway. So when you're talking about the trails around Charlotte, and this is me actually on one of the trails here between Trader Joe's and Route 51 over near the Lowe's Center, you've got to talk about the nature all over the place. You're going to see deer crossing. You don't see many snakes here and there, but this is one of the things that's kind of cool. You can stop and look and see these guys hanging out all year round, just about every time out on the trails. Since some of the greenways we're going to talk about are on the Charlotte Mecklenburg Parks and Rec trail system, a lot of them are pretty consistent with some things like this that tell you about 4 Mile Greenway, or 4 Mile Creek Greenway. There's 12 Mile Creek, there's Sugar Creek. Everything's named after a creek, but you're going to see things like this. And then also to those more prone to get bit by a snake, or a little squirrel like that one over there, or poison ivy like my brother. They've got things like this to kind of just let you know what you're looking at, what to be careful of. This is about 2.5 miles into 4 Mile Creek that goes from Route 51 that I talked about as my most traveled trail, favorite trail. It goes 5.8 miles to Trader Joe's, Starbucks, 4 Mile Creek off of Ray Road. But this is something new, a kind of another entryway. These are the off-spurts into neighborhoods, into business parks. But there's a Ballantyne Business Park up in that direction. And this adds about half a mile if you want to go up and back. That's all, just want you to see the new spurts. Yeah, previously I was talking about the beginning of this 4 Mile Creek, a little spurt off Little Sugar Creek. I'm coming up to the parking lot off of Route 51 of 4 Mile Creek. This is about 5.8 miles from where I showed you before, the start of 4 Mile Creek. This is where it's dirt. We've passed over a number of boardwalks, but again, you've got some restrooms, you've got a bike maintenance toolkit up there. You got people that are walking with their kids, their dogs, their bikes. No rollerblades on this part right here. And then some hang out. Some of the cross-country teams come down here to do a little bit of work, and then you got a little bit of a fitness section right there. So this is the end of 4 Mile Creek. It's 5.8 miles out, 5.8 miles back. Here we are at McAlpine Creek Greenway. We're about 1 mile from a newer start of this greenway to the west off of Providence Road, and about 3 miles to the terminus in Idlewild Woods, northwest probably, just past Independence, and a couple miles up there. It's probably about 3.25 miles total. So nice long trail. I used to run this 2 or 3 times a week when my kids were in school along Sardis Road. So I know this trail well, although they've done a lot of work to it in the last number of years. One thing that's great, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, is if you notice these yellow routes here, those are all entry exits from and to neighborhoods along the way. So you'll find that on all the trails in Charlotte. Just great opportunities for the neighborhoods to get involved in, walking, running, biking, skating, taking your dog out, doing all that good stuff along well-maintained trails. So what we're going to do is walk down the hill a little bit, take a look at the westward route and the eastward route, and then talk a little bit about what you'll find along the trail. All right, we are walking from the parking lot right off of Sardis Road, which connects you with Rama Road to the north near Providence Day School, and to the south right off of Route 51, which is Pineville Matthews Road. So this is going to be the intersection that's been updated in the last 2 to 4 years, give or take. It used to just shoot off there to the right under the bridge, 3.5, 4 miles north, and then turn around. And in between, you can do some playing on some hilly routes as well. But now what you've got is you've got this route going 1 mile to Providence Road. I remember when this was just dirt and mud and trees falling all over the place, and now it's paved. It's really nice. And this way, it's going to get you, like I said, close to 3 miles to the end at Boyce Park, which is a hilly section. Actually, it's a park north on Sardis Road, but you're going to find soccer fields up there, some bathrooms, some places to park. And then it gives you an opportunity to do some hill work. Boyce Park does, and then it gets you down here on this flat trail. But if you continue about 2 miles along this road, you're going to run into McAlpine Park. I think that's what they call it, something along those lines. And that's where the soccer, Charlotte FC, Charlotte MLS entry, has their training facility, and they're updating that. Here we go. This is my sleeping place. But they're updating that facility and kept it really nice. And come down here to the McAlpine section and watch the Foot Locker Regional cross-country races just about every year. They've got a variety of 5K races in there, and it's just a great place to put on your cleats, go kick around, put on some cross-country shoes, do a little bit of running, take your bike. Again, one of the nice sections. And this is not necessarily on the main route of the trail system. This is an offshoot that goes on the eastern side of South Charlotte, southeast side, and gives you a good 8 miles out and back. Let me add a little bit more as I'm talking about McAlpine Greenway and talk about this parking lot. When I first started running here, this was a dirt parking lot, maybe a little bit of gravel. You could probably get half this many cars in here. There wasn't any concrete, I don't believe, down there, and it wasn't well maintained. It's something that Charlotte or the Mecklenburg Parks and Rec Department have done really well, is kept up these parks and these facilities. What that's done is it's drawn a lot more people to come on out and walk, run, just a good time, with their pets, their family, and enjoying nature. So that was just a little bit of an update. Well, we are still, as you can see, on Little Sugar Creek Greenway, except this time we are off of Sharon Road West in South Charlotte, just north of South Mecklenburg High School, and probably about 3.5 miles north of the James K. Polk Museum, where it used to be the terminus for this trail, and now it goes about 2.5, 3 miles further south of there, where we just came from a little while ago, down in the Prestwick neighborhood in South Carolina. So this is the beginning of the trail here at off of Sharon Road, and we'll cover a little bit more of it in a little while. But like I said, it's about 3.5 miles to Polk, about 6.5 miles to the South Carolina line. And jump on the trail, head right, head north, and you'll be up to Freedom Park in probably about 3.5, 4.5 miles. Some of the events that go on at some of these parks, one of them takes place here every Saturday at 9 o'clock. There's a 5K race, just an out and back, no cost, free. Starts here at the Sharon Road entrance to the Greenway. And, it's a nice little run if you want to get some speed work in, or if that's too long for you, get a little bit of slow distance work in. But these parks always have something going on throughout the year. A number of races, 5Ks, 10Ks. I think I said in another segment of this video that a lot of the high schools around, the local high schools, Charlotte Catholic, Audrey Kell, I've even seen Marvin Ridge up here, do some of their preseason cross-country practice on these trails, and they might do it during the season as well. But lots to happen, lots to go on. From here, we're gonna head a little bit north on this trail, get a couple pictures for you, show you what it's like. You can see some of the housing here on the other side of Little Sugar Creek Greenway. Some of the neighborhoods that have offshoots and spurts going into them, so people can, just go ahead and take advantage of the Greenway. That's what it's here for. I'm trying to think of what else I was going to cover in this section. That's about it. So here we go. We should be heading up north a little bit on this trail, and we'll come to you from maybe about a mile or so up. One of the things you might have noticed just about a minute or so ago when I was panning around the parking lot of this portion of Little Sugar Creek was a bunch of kids and a couple teachers with all the garbage they collected. So there are a lot of community projects that take place along the Greenway here. Most of it is picking up some of the trash that just filters into the creek along the roadway. And it's a great opportunity for kids to show they're giving back, for adults to give back, and to go ahead and clean up your environment. So thanks to Providence Day School, who was doing that segment of cleanup. All right, we just pulled into the Huntingtown Farms neighborhood, and I'm just showing you some of the homes here. I'm not really talking much about the real estate in the neighborhood today. We're looking primarily at the trail system around Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. But this is Huntingtown Farms, an older neighborhood, as you can see. A lot of the streets in Huntingtown Farms lead to Ramblewood Park, which is a community neighborhood that's got playgrounds, it's got a soccer field. Part of Huntingtown Farms has also got primarily a rec center for the neighbors that is right next to another set of soccer fields. And my kids used to play there all the time when they were younger, and I've coached over there in the past as well. But just wanted to kind of give you a quick view of the neighborhood that is leading to one of the trail systems. And like I said previously, some of the nice things about the trail system here is you do connect into the neighborhoods by some spurts off the trail system all up and down the 70 to 100 miles of the system. So fantastic stuff to be a part of. We are pulling into Ramblewood, more officially known as Huntingtown Farms Park. And this is again part of the 19 or 17 to 19 mile Little Sugar Creek Greenway that goes all up and down the southern end of the city of Charlotte to the South Carolina border. Right to the right was some fields, or are some fields that are used as soccer fields for some rec organizations, and we're passing by some of the playground area, and you can see the trail a little bit, passes right through this area. This is something that's kind of cool. This is a community garden. You'll see some of these in different parts of Charlotte, but it is the Huntingtown Farms Park Community Garden, where you can come and I believe rent space here to grow whatever you wish to grow. Well, as long as it's legal. We are at the northern end of Huntingtown Farms. That's the park here, and that's also the part of the Greenway. You can see it straight ahead of me. Go around this way and show you. And back there were at least 3 or 4 soccer fields that fit into that field when my kids were young and they were playing. And this is a Monday, and we've got riders out here. You can see the access to Huntingtown Farms, the neighborhood, right there, little parking lot. And then here's one thing that you're gonna love if you're an outdoor person. It's just hopefully it's not too much trash, but there's a bridge going over the creek. You're gonna see these all over the place, back and forth over the creek. But you got flowing water. You're gonna see a lot of geese and duck in there during season. You can hear the water flowing right now as the trail goes further up there. Some townhomes up top with there's a steep trail at the far end of those townhomes with access to this section of the trail. And we're, like I said, about 1.5 miles north of the Sharon Road entryway, and then south of the Selwyn area of Charlotte. So we're going to go up there next, and then go into Freedom Park area, and then further north to Noda from there. Okay, we are about 1 mile. That's looking south there. We're about 1 mile south of Freedom Park in South Charlotte on Little Sugar Creek Trail. And this is an area where I run quite a bit, maybe once, twice a month here. If we come up this far, it's about a 15-mile round trip from the Sharon Road entrance all the way up to Freedom Park, around Freedom Park, and then back down to the Sharon Road entrance to the Little Sugar Creek Greenway. But to the east of us, in that direction, is Selwyn Avenue in Charlotte. There's Manor right there to the right, Brandywine over there, and to the west of us is Park Road. And you're taking a look at some of these lots here on the downhill slope from Selwyn. And the reason some of those are empty is I believe the city reclaimed those lots after there was flooding in years ago, and I don't believe they're buildable until you get further up the road here. But again, this is just one of the sections before we head into town on the Little Sugar Creek Greenway. One of the things that anybody can enjoy about these greenways in Charlotte is you have easy access right behind the other side of the creek here, Little Sugar Creek. Looks like some apartments there. But then, like it's shown before, across the street is a neighborhood with easy access to the Greenway, where people just come walk, hang out, take their dogs, grab a cup of coffee, or you could learn about reclamation of land through stormwater pollution and how to avoid that sort of thing and how to prevent it. We've had some flooding here, so it looks kind of nasty. But you can come hang out on a bench, you can ride your bike. You see people on skates all the time, on not so much the rollerboards there, whatever you call those things, skateboards, but sometimes there's the electronic skateboards, electronic bikes, stream restoration features. But you know, you could actually turn this into a little classroom adventure. And then right down there, there's something that I want to take note of. That's a little bike repair station. They've got all sorts of keys and things to help with the bike, and I believe there's a pump connected. But again, you've got about 70 miles, and I think I might have said this before, of Greenway from the South Carolina border all the way up past University area into North Charlotte. And then there's some offshoots that are up in Huntersville, Cornelius, and then on the east side of Charlotte as well. Lots to take in, and it is really incredibly difficult to touch every one of these trails on a frequent basis. I pick, the 4 or 5 that are near me that I like, that might be a challenge sometimes, and then hit those more frequently than others. So we're going to jump from here up to Freedom Park and take a peek into the park. To make this a little bit of a side note about the area we're in, we're just, like I said, west of Selwyn a little bit. And you see some of the old architecture here in Charlotte, in this area, just a little bit south of Freedom Park. And there's some of the old architecture right over there, the White House has been renovated. But then you turn around and take a peek at some of the new stuff in Charlotte, like this home here and the next couple of homes. And I think it's an awesome looking area of Charlotte. And you get to run through this, and then you're going to get back out of the urban area and into the woods again. So the Greenway has something for just about everybody, as I continue to say about all of Charlotte. Here's the renovated house that I just showed you. Okay, we're at the corner of Jamestown and Princeton, and this is the southern edge of Freedom Park in South Charlotte. This is the continuation of the Greenway that's called Little Sugar Creek, as you can see here. It goes from the South Carolina border. You can take this through Pineville, past James Polk Museum, then on up through South Charlotte, and jump on the Ruth Samuelson Trail. And Ruth, we miss you. Great political figure, community figure in Charlotte for many years. I met her when doing some real estate business years ago. But this is the trail that leads to Freedom Park, and just off to the left side over here is the southern edge of Freedom Park and some of the bigger ponds. And this will take you all the way up to, I think, East Boulevard. From here, it's about 6 miles, maybe 6.5 to Sharon Road. From Sharon Road, it's another 5.5, 6 miles down South Carolina border, give or take. And like I said, you can do a 50K if you want to from the north side to the south side and stay on the trail mostly all the way at this point. Of course, the recent rains did knock down some of the bridges and flooded the bridges a little bit, but this is the neighborhood that we just came from, back there off Princeton and Jamestown. All right, this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the trail, but just want to kind of show you what Freedom Park looks like. Just got off the trail a couple minutes ago. We're gonna do a little bit of a walk around in here, take a couple photos, but you've got sand volleyball over there. You can hear and I can see, oh, there it is, pickleball going on, playgrounds, restrooms, picnic areas, tons of soccer fields laid out here, tennis right over there. There's looks like some private soccer coaching lessons going on, softball fields, baseball fields. What am I missing? Prom pictures. Big time into prom pictures here. But again, this is Freedom Park in South Charlotte, just south of Uptown Charlotte. And it is full of festivals. Festival in the park, as a matter of fact, it happens in late September every year. And there's some dog shows going on. There's an RV, a corkboard seminar happening in here sometime during the year. But lots to go, lots to happen in the park. I'm mumbling a little bit. So lots going on, and this kind of just shows you what you can bump into just by living around the neighborhoods and taking one of the neighborhood offshoots into the park and then walking around. There's some people walking their dogs, all that good stuff. So these trailways and greenways aren't just for hiking, running, biking, that sort of thing. They also are an access point to a lot of different things going on. All right, we're about at the halfway mark of where the trail starts in South Carolina, goes through Pineville, like I've said before, comes up through the city of Charlotte, and then terminates after you get past the university area up north. And that's 30 plus miles. There's over 70 miles of trails if you include all the trails in Matthews, Mint Hill, everything around the county. And there's about another additional, what they call urban trails, another 30 miles or so. And that's more an offshoot that's more in an urban area. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this camera around in a second and kind of walk up towards town just a little bit to kind of show you this trail a bit. And I'm back. First, before I head down the trail here into Uptown Charlotte, we're going to go around the south side, kind of following 277, the little route that goes around Charlotte. All right, so we've got the trail that splits here. And there we go. There's some high-fiving riders. So this is the trail. I'm not sure where they came from, obviously, but this is the trail that goes around the south side of the city and then heads up towards the south side of North Davidson and then up into the university area, on up into the Mallard Creek, Reedy Creek. It splits off a little bit up there. So there's Uptown Charlotte. Not the best view in the world, but it is a beautiful city. And you can walk on into the city if you're taking this path over here. Right up into town. All right, so next stop is going to be north of town somewhere. We are at Cordelia Park Pavilion off of North Davidson Road. And you can see Charlotte in the background. So we're just outside the north part of Charlotte, the city area. I'm going to back off a little bit and kind of get you a better view of the area. North Davidson and this area, as you can see, is just exploding with new construction of obviously multifamily over there, townhomes or condos or apartments. That's not an ancient home, so that's fairly new build. Looks like that could be combination, maybe retail, but it looks like it's residential. But this is Cordelia Park. That's the little pavilion, the headquarters. The empty pool, because it is mid-February. Then we'll get a better view of Uptown Charlotte from here. Here we go. There's Uptown Charlotte in the background. It is an awesome sunny day right now in Charlotte. It's about 45, 50 degrees, so it's kind of cool for us down here. But probably a normal day for mid-February. But you're going to see the trail, and it goes from here. There's the trail over there. It goes several miles north and then northwest to the lake area. But this is kind of what's cool. There's the trail right down there. That heads south into the south side of town, down through the Selwyn area, Huntingtown Farms, Sharon Road, South Charlotte, under 485 into Pineville and then down to South Carolina. You're going to find these sorts of parks all up and down the trail area for the communities that are part of Mecklenburg County Parks and Rec Trail neighborhoods. Greenway. Keep saying trail. It's Greenway. Awesome city. All right, as we head back home from Cordelia Park in North Charlotte, just off of Noda, I say Noda because that's Noda, North Davidson section of town and North Davidson Road. We're heading back down home so I can start to edit this thing and send it out to you guys to take to help you take a look at the trail system in Charlotte. But just to know, there are probably dozens and dozens of funded trails already in the Mecklenburg County area, and there are dozens and dozens of miles that are proposed trails also. A lot of them are offshoots of the main trails heading north-south and a little bit east and west, and some of them are standalone trails. I've seen several of those, and some of those are already completed at this point. There's also a connection to the Carolina Thread, which goes outside of Mecklenburg County to Cabarrus County to Union County, and then down into South Carolina. So this trail system, once it's completed, I don't know if that's going to be in 5 years or 50 years, because there's a lot to do, but it's already got a lot. However, once it's completed, it's just going to be an amazing piece of the region here in the Charlotte area. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave some comments. Let me know what I missed. If you're a frequent rider, runner, hiker, biker on the trails, let me know what you like the most. If you do that in your hometowns where you're coming here from, let me know what you'd like to see more of in Charlotte, whether it's the trails or the neighborhoods or the economy or things to do in Charlotte. We'll be happy to help you out. So have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the late winter here and coming spring in Charlotte.